We pour billions of dollars, endless energy, and constant motion into trying to fix society. The drive to solve our biggest problems rarely slows down, and that effort happens at every level. At the top, you have massive macroeconomic design, like the policy frameworks produced by Niti Aayog to steer national development. On the ground, you have dedicated grassroots execution. Organizations like Pratham and Teach for India are actively working in classrooms, fighting to expand access to education every single day. These efforts prove that change is possible. Yet, despite this constant machinery of policy and grassroots action, the most stubborn societal challenges persist, largely resisting these traditional interventions. This happens because of a solution-first bias. We are so eager to act that we design perfect, idealized solutions in a vacuum. But the moment that pristine idea shatters against the messy, constrained reality of human behavior, it falls apart. The missing ingredient in societal change is a lack of rigorous comprehension regarding the environment where solutions actually operate. That is the specific vacuum an initiative named TriCon is designed to fill. Its foundational rule is straightforward. Before prescribing a single cure, we have to thoroughly map the anatomy of the disease. We have to identify exactly what is broken and precisely why it is broken. True resilience requires diagnosing both the structural limits and the human friction at play. It transforms the act of understanding from a passive academic exercise into the necessary foundation for any practical action. To test this approach, TriCon starts strictly in India. The sheer complexity, unequal distribution of resources, and unique administrative hurdles here make it the ideal testing ground for unraveling systemic issues. The core thesis here is that no single academic discipline can explain why society behaves the way it does. Pure economics can't explain a cultural bias, and isolated psychology can't explain a supply chain failure. To get an accurate picture, force these fields to interlock. Combine psychology, systemic structures, economics, and governance into a cohesive framework. Once built, it acts as a filter. Proposed ideas must survive the pressure of real-world constraints, corruption, conflicting incentives, and cognitive biases. Applying this multidisciplinary matrix is the only reliable way to expose why a flawless economic policy on paper might collapse in reality simply due to human psychological friction. Most modern organizations try to scale as fast as possible. TriCon's operational rollout deliberately rejects that model. It begins on the ground floor, as a daily exercise in writing and individual analysis. The immediate goal is simply to observe and document the systemic barriers that restrict capable individuals. Over time, if resources allow and the insights prove useful, it will evolve into a formally registered group involving researchers and professionals from multiple disciplines. Their job will be to take those initial observations, test the hypotheses, and implement small, highly practical changes in localized settings. By intentionally starting small and rooting itself in visible, personal experience, the system naturally insulates itself against the detachment and rigidity that plague massive bureaucracies. The prevailing metric of success today is scaling for the sake of scale. TriCon's objective is entirely different: meaningful, localized impact. When you look globally, massive structured systems often fail over time because they lack continuous updates. Their feedback loops degrade, and they lose touch with the people they are supposed to serve. A rigid system will inevitably break under pressure. The TriCon approach demands a system that is dynamic, humble enough to continuously adapt its shape, and willing to completely dismantle itself if it stops serving a practical purpose. Real barriers like limited access, lack of guidance, and unequal opportunities shape outcomes in highly visible ways. Overcoming them means abandoning oversimplified narratives that try to boil everything down to a single issue. Future efforts must balance two things: a deep foundational understanding of the problem, paired with a highly adaptable structure to address it. Improving society requires us to respect its complexity, abandoning blind prescriptions in favor of a commitment to deeply understanding the machinery first.